reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
MMO Reporter's PAX Prime coverage is brought to you by Dragon Fantasy, The Black Tome of Ice, a 16-bit styled JRPG coming soon on Steam, iOS, Android, 3DS, and Wii U.
Hey everybody, welcome to PAX on Friday. It's Jason with MMO Reporter. Coming to you from the show floor, I'm here with John from Eco. John, you're developing an open world game, voxel-based, looks a lot like Minecraft, plays in some ways like Minecraft, isn't anything like that at all. The plan for the game is to basically try to save the world from a catastrophe that's happening. Tell us what you built, tell us what's going on for those that might not be familiar with Kickstarter.
Sure. So Eco is a global survival game. So you have to build a civilization with a group of people without destroying the world in the process. So in order to do that, you have to propose and vote on laws that decide what the group is allowed to do. So there's this really large, we have an ecosystem simulation that runs 24 hours a day. And on top of that, we have this player-run government where you make decisions and decide what's allowed in this environment. So that's kind of what's different from Minecraft, is that we have this really dynamic social world on top of it. So the servers run 24 hours a day, running the simulation. And after 30 days, a disaster is going to happen. A meteor is going to hit the Earth. So you have to build up enough technology in that time to stop it. But in the process, you can pollute your world. You can actually destroy this world, which would result in server-wide permadeath. So you have these like two different threats that are facing this world. You have to find the balance between them in order to prevent it.
That's excellent. It sounds like a lot of fun. I got to play a little bit of the demo. It's a great game, coming along really nicely. You have a couple of big public servers that you intend to put forth. You also plan to allow this for people that want to have their own servers, just play with their friends if they don't like the way that the big groups are deciding to vote on some of these laws that you put forth.
Yeah, exactly. You can host your own private servers and have as many people as you want. You can play by yourself. The game is really designed to be played with a solid number of people because you specialize in different things and you have to collaborate. You can't, one person can't do everything in the world. So you have to specialize in something and then trade with each other. And that forms the basis of the player-run economy, which is a huge part of this game. Is like having specialized labor, specialized goods, and selling that between players to most efficiently use these resources. Because even though you all have this common goal, you kind of have your individual incentives that you specialize in. And a lot of conflict of the game will come from that. For example, if I'm a wood chopper and somebody proposes a law, oh, we should stop chopping down trees, we're killing off these habitats, we're going to kill off our food supply, I might personally be against that just because of my profession. I have this like bias. So a lot of the game is bringing those biases into the environment of this game and letting people kind of experience that conflict that we see in the real world inside of a game where the consequences like play out a lot faster. You'll see it in the course of like a month what's going to ultimately happen.
It's really fascinating. I'm really looking forward to how this is going to play out and what people are going to decide to do on some of these big public servers. There's technology that evolves as you play through the game, and the laws also evolve, presumably, for some of that.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the advanced technology ideas that you have going forward that maybe we haven't been able to see here at PAX and we won't get to see for a little while.
Yeah, so there's a few kind of different categories of technology. One of the big ones we're building is transport. So one of the main differences of this game from other voxel games is you can't hold an infinite amount of stuff. So that means transport becomes really important. You have to have, animal labor to move this stuff, or like railroads, or paths or freeways or whatever. So moving stuff from point A to point B, you have to transform the environment with this infrastructure. It takes a huge amount of energy. And that's going to be a really big part of the game, just getting stuff around. Other technology is basically kind of two directions. You are gathering resources faster and affecting the ecosystem in a higher capacity versus gathering them more efficiently. So you can kind of choose which directions you want to go with the technology you pursue in the game. So you start off the game with basically no technology, and your impact on the environment is pretty small, and there's no laws either, so it's open. So as you gain more technology, you gain more power, so you have a lot more abilities to affect this environment. You need a lot more laws and rule structures to limit what you can do as you get more powerful. So it kind of evolves together like that.
Okay, that's awesome. I think the last interesting question that isn't really covered well on your Kickstarter is education. You want to use this as an educational tool. You want to put it in the schools and get kids learning about the ecosystem in that way. Tell me about what you plan to do with your education connections.
Yeah, so we see this game as having value beyond entertainment. We think, it's going to be an awesome game first and foremost, but it's also like you take something from this game. Like you play this game and you work together, and if you collaborate unsuccessfully, your biases get in the way, things happen, this world will ultimately die. And that's kind of a gift to the player, that you're experiencing this in a game world, so you don't have to experience it in reality. And I think there's a lot of value to that. The big part of the game is making arguments about these laws. So you can research the data from the simulation. It's being gathered 24/7. So you can create laws based on this actual data. So you're arguing these laws based on data, scientific argumentation. There's a lot of really interesting skills that requires here: collaboration, argumentation, debate, and just understanding how the ecosystem works. So we actually got a grant from the Department of Education. They're really interested in how this can be used in schools. And just the idea of games in schools is one that's becoming really, it's something that's on people's mind, and I can see that really taking off. So we're interested in pushing that and seeing what can really be done with these and using them in a classroom space.
Well, John, this sounds really super fascinating. For those of you that haven't been to the website yet, the website is www.global-survival.com. The game is Eco, and this is John, the creator of the game. John, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
And we'll get you a whole lot more coverage coming on later today. We'll see you guys in game.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at mmoreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/mmoreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.